He moves, poses, and articulates issues like a real leader. Many think he's a lawyer, but he's not.
I went to the Alliance High School.
He has been likened to the late Mboya, and others believe that he's the Kenyan Thomas Shelby. What you may not know is that his grandfather, a pilot, was part of the team that participated in the 1982 Kenyan coup. So the fighting spirit runs in the blood.
Akaniletea album, yeah, a person who looks like the older version of me. Like, huyu ni nani wako, alikuwa pilot, alijaribu kunini Moi na aliwekwa solitary confinement for 11 years. Akanionyesha hiyo kitu yote.
His name is Kasmuel Mcoure. He rose to fame during the nationwide demonstrations that erupted in Kenya over a controversial tax bill, the Finance Bill 2024. Before even all this occurred, Kasmuel had a sizable fan base thanks to his Instagram and TikTok, where he shares musical content and at times blessing his audience with insightful nuggets of information about anything he feels like. If you happen to go through his TikTok or Instagram, then you'll see quality videos, and he's always donned in sharp suits. And this is one of the things that made him to stand out in the protest. Unlike most protesters who wore casual outfits, Kasmuel was fully donned in decent vintage suits. These are some of the pictures, and this was his first day at the protest. He will later attend more protests with more style and more vigor. So you know, Kasmuel didn't attend these events to take pictures. All this happened by accident. Just like other young people, he was agitated by the state of this government, and his desire for a better Kenya was the reason he was on the street. He was vocal, actively rallying other Kenyans to participate in the countrywide demos, to fight for the youth's future and demand accountability from the government. His videos and pictures went viral, and with this achievement, people must talk and talk rubbish. Some have claimed that Effect is Abduction, is a clout chaser. He has a main character syndrome, and that he was not even one of the best mobilizers, apart from the suit which he kept recycling every now and then. Some defended Kasmuel, saying, "No need to hate. All I can see is a courageous young man at the front line." Kasmuel was not shaken, he even said it. "People will like me, people will hate me, and that has nothing to do with me. I know exactly where I want to be, and I'll get there." Many now know him as anti-finance bill mobilizer, but there's a lot of things that Kasmuel has done and is currently doing. He has battled with mental issues for years and is grateful to be alive today. Today, we'll explore the life of Kasmuel Mcoure, where he came from, and why some people believe is the next Mboya. Kasmuel Mcoure is a man of many talents. He's a music consultant and educator, an activist, sartorialist, financial analyst, and a great debater.
It's a bit hot in here and the fans are trying their best, but this motion is siding with the sun, I propose. To my opponents, here you have come and given us a 5-cent argument on a $10 motion that a cashless economy is most definitely the best stimulus to economic growth. I mean, you come here and tell me that cash payment is the only mode of payment that is legalized as tender? Are you trying to tell me that when any one of us here, our judges or our teachers, go out there to their ATM cards, they just go there to have fun?
That is Kasmuel at the Great Debaters Contest, proposing the motion, "A cashless economy is the best stimulant for economic growth." He was representing his school, Maranda High School, and they were battling a school called the Great Seed of Hope School. Maranda crushed their opponents and ended up winning that debate with a whooping 74%, and the opponents only getting 40%.
Miranda High School, the judges saw it fit to award you 74%. You are our winners for the debate.
If you watched the debate or you've watched it, then you can agree that Kasmuel was destined for greatness. He's not struggling to explain his points. He explains them flawlessly, confidently, and with a dash of sarcasm. And all this began way back as a little child. He was a bubbly child. But the sad part is that the adults around him did not like that, and they called him naughty and mischievous. He came from a humble background. His family lived in Karen, Nairobi, in a single room. Karen, single room, I know you're also wondering. Anyway, they were poor. They did not have a table, and he will end up doing most of his assignments on his lap, but he was optimistic that things would be different.
I come from a very humble background. We lived in a single-roomed blue tin shack in Karen. Those of you who know where Karen is, you know it's one of the leafy suburbs of Nairobi, yes? But our home was more leaf than it was suburb.
He attended Carroll Academy for his primary education, and it's at this stage that he developed a passion for music and was intrigued by musical instruments. He claimed that his mother was his greatest musical influence, and she exposed him to the best music.
Person to whom I owe I call my greatest musical influence, my mother, because she did her best to ensure that I was exposed to the best music that I could be.
Another musical influence is Kanye West. At one moment, he heard Kanye West's song Homecoming and fell in love with the song, and would later sample more Kanye West music, and this was just the beginning of his journey into music. After performing well in his KCPE exams, he joined the Alliance High School, one of the top public schools in Kenya. Alliance is known to be a place for silent geniuses, and him being an extrovert, it was hard for him to cope. That was not the only problem. He also encountered classism. He was a child of poor parents, but he didn't like to be referred to as poor, to the point of missing out on sponsorships because sponsorships are for poor people.
I also did not want the tag of being called poor or broke. So what I did was to ensure anything that would enable me to be identified with that tag, I missed out on. So there were very many opportunities for sponsorship. I did not go for it because I thought sponsorships were for poor people.
He didn't want to be seen as a poor kid who couldn't afford snacks or nice clothes, and this made him to seek solace in the dormitory and spent most of his time playing music and the instruments. At the Alliance, he had a very rough high school experience. He was suspended 5 times, and the 6th time he was given an indefinite suspension.
It was hard for me because I was one of those really creative people and I wanted to explore the world. And I went on about 5 suspensions, and I think the 6th one was an indefinite suspension.
In Form 2, he tried to commit suicide, but that never happened. And all this is because he was mentally disturbed, and the issues with mental health began way back after he was sexually assaulted at 11 years and faced several months of bullying.
I can explain where the bullying started and what I had done to deserve it, but I can't quite tell you what I did to cause the sexual assault. You see, children do not know what to do with sexual information. That's why you find a lot of people come out many, many years after it happened. It's because when you're sexually assaulted, you feel worthless, you feel filthy and very dirty. It's an ever-enduring feeling of dirt.
After being suspended from Alliance High School, he returned home, but things were still the same. He was depressed. In that period, he discovered adult content, but this still did not numb his pain, and he fell back into depression. He got another chance to continue with his education at Maranda High School. He scored an A- and would later join the Technical University of Kenya, where he studied a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance and graduated with honors. In campus, he was teaching music for a living, and he had to juggle between music education and his studies, and even got a job at the hotel, but it ended in 2020.
I got a phone call that I will not be playing that gig again. So this gig, which was paying some of my bills, had gone.
At the time, he had helped a group to audition for the Old Mucho competition that was in South Africa, and they were taken. He was to accompany the team, but that never happened. His musical talent enabled him to play at the Engage Talk stage in 2020, and he was chosen to be the band leader for Engage. He later established a band called Maskani, Kenya's jazz orchestra. He was still struggling with mental health, despite the fact that he now had too much freedom to do anything. His turning point would later come in the weeks that led to the 9th of October 2023, and he knew he needed help. He got into a near-fatal accident on Thika Road. He wondered why he did not die, as he had attempted suicide 3 times a month before. His friends would later take him to a mental hospital and he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, ADHD, and anxiety disorder. Now, many don't know that side of Kasmuel. Some know him because of his music or the content he was posting on TikTok. But he became widely known because of the recent Occupy Parliament protest. But even before that, he participated in several protests. In 2021, he participated in the Fungua Inchi campaign. And in January 2024, he participated at the Femicide March. The recent Occupy Parliament protest catapulted him to fame. But even before we discuss these pictures, why was Kasmuel on the streets of Nairobi holding a tear gas and a megaphone? On June 18, 2024, Kenya experienced an unexpected uprising driven by a bold new generation of young protesters, or the Gen Z. They did not like the fact that the government was trying to pass a finance bill in parliament that will involve increasing taxes. So they took to the streets to oppose the bill.
My name is Mcoure. I am a digital influencer and a musician. But what has brought me here to town today is standing in solidarity with my brethren who are rejecting the finance bill.
Unlike what many thought, they were fearless, marching past armed police who lobbed tear gas canisters at them or beat them up, including using live bullets. The protests occurred in Nairobi and other major towns across the country, bringing business to a halt. Unlike previous protests marred by violence, looting, and stone throwing, the Gen Z protesters exhibited maturity and peaceful conduct, maintaining a clear focus on conveying their message. They live-streamed intense encounters with the police using their smartphones. The protests were both physical and online, people using hashtags like Occupy Parliament, Unfollow Ruto, and Reject Finance Bill 2024 to pressure MPs to reject the bill and rally supporters. The strategy worked. The government announced it will scrap many of the bill's most contentious provisions, including taxes on bread purchases and car ownership. On June 25th, the protest turned deadly. Some people managed to break into the parliament building and set it on fire. Dozens of people were injured and several others were killed. The President, William Ruto, denounced the protest as treasonous and claimed that the protests were hijacked by a group of organized criminals. On June 26th, he conceded to public pressure and said he will not sign the bill, and later called for its withdrawal, calling for a national dialogue involving the youth and all stakeholders from the private and public sectors to map the way forward for the country's budget.
I will not sign the 2024 finance bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that becomes our collective position.
Now, amidst the chaos, several young people stood out, and one of them is Kasmuel Mcoure. After his images and videos were shared online, Kenyans were impressed. His Twitter account blew up, and he moved from 400 followers to close to 40,000 followers. People started comparing him to Martin Luther King and Mboya. This was something that he had not planned, contrary to what many think, and he had no idea that he had gone viral.
I see the photos. Now I start seeing, I'm like, hey, my Instagram is Drinini, it's looking kind of funny. So do you how many stories I've mentioned to you? And then now I see those 2 photos. And I'm like, sikuwa najua, ningevaa suti poa.
There were claims that he was paid, but Kasmuel had a different story. He made a post on X saying, he's sad that there are people...
It's a bit hot in here and the fans are trying their best, but this motion is siding with the sun, I propose. To my opponents, here you have come and given us a 5-cent argument on a $10 motion that a cashless economy is most definitely the best stimulus to economic growth. I mean, you come here and tell me that cash payment is the only mode of payment that is legalized as tender? Are you trying to tell me that when any one of us here, our judges or our teachers, go out there to their ATM cards, they just go there to have fun, maybe to get a bit more of exposure outside the bank life of queuing and stuff. Are you telling me the people who swipe trade in something that is not legal? And if it is, you're trying to tell me that almost all business in Kenya, or all businesses that take place in any other state that uses cashless economy.
My name is Kasmuel Mcoure, and this was my most recent graduation speech.
Distinguished guests and the brilliant stars of this meritorious day. Today, as I stand before you, my heart swells with gratitude and honor. Allow me, Kasmuel Mcoure, a mildly humble, be-good fellow from Kenya, to paint a canvas of this occasion with words that dance and melodies that stir the soul. I'm a musician, so you're going to hear a lot of musical terms. In this grand symphony of achievement, we gather here as a symphonic ensemble, each of us playing a unique part, yet harmonizing together in perfect unity. Together, we have embarked on a transformative journey, guided by the visionary minds that have composed this symphony of education and empowerment. Mr. Tyler Perry, the conductor of inspiration, your creative genius has ignited the spark of possibility within us all. Mrs. Beyonce Knowles Carter, the maestro of transformation, your powerful voice has resonated in our hearts, urging us to dream and reach for the stars. And to the extraordinary Miss Ivy McGregor, the enchantress of possibility, your unwavering belief in our potential has lifted us to new heights. To the Global Citizen team, we extend our deepest gratitude. This very program that unearths remarkable potential of up to 15 young people in South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya. Your commitment to providing a paid year-long fellowship aligned with your pillars of activity has allowed us to thrive and grow. The curriculum that you've designed has equipped us with the skills and tools we need to make a lasting impact. Through masterclasses, experiential learning, mentorship and learning trips, we have been guided on a journey of transformation. We have learned the importance of using digital technology for social change, impactful storytelling, building professional relationships, and embracing innovation in a constantly changing world. To our beloved programs director, the lyrical conductor of our collective brilliance, Ms. Dipalesa Murake, your leadership has been a symphony in motion. With grace and precision, you have guided us through the intricacies of this musical journey. Your unwavering belief in our symphonic potential has propelled us forward, conducting us to a standing ovation of success that is this day. To my Nigerian fellows, Broda Fasamni, Bola Boa de Doyen, Karimoto Debode, Marvelous Chimdindu. In your transformative work within correctional facilities for girls, you have shown us that in the quest for equality, we are determined to go anywhere to offer hope. Your dedication and tireless efforts have brought light to the lives of those who have been forgotten, demonstrating that every voice deserves to be heard and that every individual deserves a chance for redemption. South African fellows, Ms. Matabelo Kaba, Spusiso Bookvolt, Hope Nguni, Tilufelo Lehaha, and Odwan Kiva. My fellow graduates, you have left an indelible mark on schools through your visits and in the social media dance challenge that you organized with students. You have shown that we seek to drive change as equals in the very communities we come from, offering them hope for brighter futures. By distributing pads and engaging in joyful activities, you have conveyed the message that education, dignity, and empowerment are essential for all. To Kenyan fellows, Charity Gibaka, Ms. Cheruno Keter, Arthur Kamau, and Cheryl Kambuni. Your extraordinary efforts in finding leaders of industry in activism and having them address communities have created such a powerful ripple effect. By going to less privileged schools, fully understanding their needs, and coming up with specific need-based solutions, you have shown that change begins with listening, understanding, and taking action. You have let communities know that their voices matter and that together we can create a society where every individual can thrive. If there is anything this fellowship has revealed in us, despite our diversity and differences, is that we will stop at nothing in our quest for social change. We have shown that the symphony of our collective efforts knows no bounds. We have broken barriers, defied expectations, and challenged the status quo. And as we part ways today, let our hearts be filled with both joy and sorrow, for the bonds we have forged will forever resonate with us. Amid the crescendo of our accomplishments, we stand at a crossroads. This year marks the last chapter of this fellowship, and it weighs heavy upon our hearts. The realization that this transformative journey will come to an end brings me deep sadness. However, let this sadness not overshadow the tremendous impact that we've made. Let it fuel our determination to continue the symphony of change beyond these hallowed walls. Therefore, I stand here today in this bittersweet moment to issue a challenge to the Beacon Foundation, global citizen, and my fellow esteemed fellows. Let us find a way of providing this life-changing opportunity to at least 15 more Africans. Let's come together, harnessing our collective passion, expertise, and resources to make this dream a reality. The fellows are willing to volunteer their time, skills, expertise garnered in this fellowship to ensure that others can experience the transformative power that we have been fortunate enough to embrace. As we bid farewell, may our hearts remain united in hope and purpose, that the melodies of our shared experiences linger in our souls, inspiring us to continue for the fight for equality, justice, and the eradication of poverty. Though our paths may diverge, the symphony of our collective determination shall forever resound, pushing us to create a brighter future for all. In conclusion, I extend my deepest gratitude to our friends and families, whose unwavering support has been the symphonic backdrop of our journey. With love as our orchestral backdrop, we dedicate this performance to you, our beloved audience. As we take our final bow, let the rhythm of inspiration echo in your hearts. Carry the harmony of this moment, the lyrics of our collective achievements, and the rhythm of our shared purpose. Graduates, go forth and compose a symphony of greatness in all that you do. May the music of your lives play on, inspiring change and transforming the world. Congratulations, graduates. Let the symphony of our lives continue to resound. For together, we can create a future where equality, justice, and opportunity thrive. Thank you, and may the symphony of our collective endeavors inspire generations to come.
One of the things I regret is quitting the business I started right after high school. See, I do not come from a rich background, so I had to find ways to make money to pay for campus and life expenses. I was so good at it that in my second year of campus, I was admitted into this prestigious fellowship called the Young African Leaders Initiative that was funded by Barack Obama and the US government. I was admitted into the business and entrepreneurship track. The business was booming, I had good profit margins, but somewhere along the way, my insecurities got to me. See, I thought my business was not as cool as the other people's businesses. Other people were selling like laptops, phones, and I felt like my business was not as cool. I was selling peanut butter. It was a very easy business. The numbers were really good, but nilikuwa feeling kama ni pesa chafu. I ended up giving up on that dream because of really, really stupid reasons. One, it was that insecurity. I thought that, oh man, I can't even blame this on the Shories, but I thought that girls would not like me if I said that's the kind of business I was doing. But it was legit and it was clean. It was fully owned by me and it was a good business. I could help the needy. I remember we do programs like feeding street kids and letting clothes for homeless people. I could do that with my profits and whatnot. But somewhere along the way, I lost focus. If you're a young person and you're into entrepreneurship, you're selling maybe mtumba or shoes or smokies or whatever, do not give up on that dream. Hakuna kitu kama pesa chafu. Pesa chafu ni ile pesa umeiba peke yake. Don't be like me. Don't be one of those people. Then you'll come to the internet to regret. I'm telling you this because I've seen a lot of my viewers are between 18 to 24, and that's around the time when we're booming with ideas. Don't listen to any naysayers. Just focus on your dream. Itajipa. One of the compliments I get a lot on my social media is that I would make a great radio personality. And I never know what to do with that comment because it's never crossed my mind to apply for like a radio job or whatever. But January, February were rough months, and there's a certain radio station that was advertising for a job. And I looked at the advert and I was like, not too bad. I almost applied, but then I did due diligence and looked at the kind of presenters that work in that radio station. And I was like, that's just incongruent to the kind of life I I lead. But a lot of the commentary I've seen on the people who've made applications is that people claim that there's a lack of authenticity or originality. Kenyan radio almost always has like this cadence. It sounds something like, can I do it? Something like, good morning, good people. What's up, Nairobi? You're listening to Tax FM on 254. I'm your host, Kanda Uongoman, hitting you with the best levels, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's kind of peppy. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like kind of forward moving and whatnot. How do you expect people to be authentic while every chance we got to be authentic, even when we were growing up, was taken away from us? People who are in drama or elocution, we used to recite choral verses the same way. Chini ya daraja, mosi ja, shule ya msingi Carol, paletile, shairi, lenye mada, makinikeni. All of us, that's all we knew. And we also don't, like, you people do not support people who, you don't support authenticity, especially when it comes to like these corporate gigs. And just because we do not know what to do with authenticity, I felt like we could cut those people some slack. But then, besides relationship drama and poverty, is there anything else that people talk about? If we remove those two topics on Kenyan radio, is there anything else that people can talk about? Because I feel like we've kind of accepted, and you would see this just because you look at like great podcasts and their ratings are low, people who just like do deep dives and whatnot. But the people who go for the drama, those are the people we give the most views. Why should I show up in a world which is full of actors with my real face?
Why do you dress like that?
Hey, Maze, I grew up wearing very horrible clothes. And I said the moment I would be able to afford. And to me,
ni revenge.
Ni revenge. Hii by the way nakuva nayo. Sina, this one is not. And I've worn suits, even campus. Nilikuwa nazishikanisha tu. There are very horrible photos of me out there. And people have
Guys, we need receipts. Do the thing.
Someone resurrect a video. I'm like, hey. So I used to shikanisha because when I was growing up, I had either very baggy shirts and sijui shorts. Nikasema nikiweza, because for me, suits looked like the epitome. They looked like the thing I wanted to wear. I was like, the moment I can afford it like this,
you gonna nail
every damn day.
You gonna land today.
Absolutely.
Unatoanga suti sangapi?
Siku ikiisha.
Siku yako inaisha sangapi?
It's either I'm in a suit or in the birthday suit. Hakuna sijui in between. Hapo is consistently. Hakuna in between stand.
Hawezi chila ka t-shirt ka kinyasa random days hizi kupata na ka t-shirt.
Sina random days bado. This is still revenge trauma. Pole.
So, suti birthday suit blanketi.
Birthday suit blanketi.
Umeilala na suti?
To be fair nimewailala na suti. But hey, it's such an uncomfortable experience. Unajua kilala kwa wenyewe.
Unakama iti.
Kama mwanaume. Siku hivyo. Nairobi unalala kwa wenyewe pale ulipi rent unalala tu kama
kama mizigo.
Uko tu hivi.
And the afro?
I mean, it's just always been, again, because I went to 2 high schools. It's a thing which has just been bringing a lot of division.
Okay.
So when I finished in Maranda High School.
Also, in Maranda?
Yes, I went to Maranda.
Okay. Watch a Nikkei up. Serious people in the building. I think that's where you get your English from. Bro, your English is also...
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first high school I went to, which was Alliance, was...
Okay.
It was pretty much... I feel like if I were to...
Pause.
In 2019, I was invited for the National Prayer Breakfast. As a student leader, any invitation from State House used to be such a big deal. Relax, this story does not go where you think it does. I've been waking up with bouts of anxiety and thinking, what can I do to make my days better? And I remember one of my mentors telling me last week that I should try writing about my day every single day. Just do a short to-do list so that you know what's expected of you during the day. I thought, let me get a notebook. I realized I had not finished this notebook because it used to be quite a flex carrying it around campus, going to the VC's office and stuff. Then I found the date where I was invited for the prayer breakfast. And there's a babe I was hanging out with. And she left me a note. I said, I'm quite upset, but it's fine. I really hope I get my water bottle. I loved it, but I hope to find it. Anyways, asante kwa kuniongelesha. All the best as you go home. Blessings, me. So this is where the story begins. We were at Safari Park. And I remember I'm vegan. So the options we were given were mushrooms, baked beans, sweet potatoes, some bread, and you're listening to the politicians just ramble. We seated there feeling all important and mighty as student leaders. After the event, I met this really pretty babe and I'm like, let me talk to you, you know. Before I approached her, she was like, hey, you look familiar. And I was like, oh, my days. That's the line. You know, it's like very low level. As a guy, you hope to try it and you hope it works. I was going to try it because I'm a risk taker, but she took it. So we spent some time together. We played cards. And she had gone to have her makeup done before she came for the event at some place at Garden City. And she left her water bottle there. So that's the context of the note. When we walked, we had such a great time, spent the whole day at Garden City chilling, those sparks, you know, we had chemistry going. But at the end of the date, as we were walking, now in one of the exits of Garden City is like a glass thing, and you can only walk, it's just the glass and the rest of it is road. There was only the two of us walking. I remember in the morning I ate mushrooms, baked beans, blah, blah, blah. They're like, alright, I'ma leave now. I let out the most
My name is Mcoure, and we've gathered here this fine Thursday afternoon to remind President Ruto and his administration that we are here to reaffirm the position we held on Tuesday. We do not want this bill to be amended. We do not want this finance bill to be edited. We are here with one very clear and succinct message that says, reject, do not amend. Hata wakijaribu kutukandamiza, tutagoza tena kesho. And we assure them that we the people, as united as we are, will never be defeated.
Thank you, sir. To the members of the press. To the middle and press the camera. Which camera? These ones? Yeah. Oh. Thank you very much. To the members of the press, thank you for convening here. My name is Kasmuel Mcoure, and I am here to categorically state, in no uncertain terms, that we want the immediate release of Dr. Austin Omondi. Dr. Austin Omondi was my classmate at the Alliance High School, and we were coordinating rescuing demonstrators who had been hurt on Thursday together at the Masjid at Jamia. It is an unfortunate time that we are being targeted and being given threatening phone calls by a government that's threatening peaceful people. We're grateful for the support we've received from the LSK, Madam Chair, we will remember you kindly. And to the powers that be, all the threats that you meet on us mean nothing. We are not afraid to lose our lives. We are not afraid to fight to the death for this cause. We want Austin to be produced, not tomorrow, but today. We will look for him, we will not tire until we find him tonight. Because he cannot be doing this great, thankless job that you are supposed to be doing and still sleep in an undisclosed location. We want to remind this government that we will continue to press, we will continue to occupy until Dr. Austin is released. Free Chaprado, free Austin Omondi. Thank you very much.
We are not relenting or giving up on the cause. We're staying true to it. We're saying down with this corrupt regime. We're saying down with this regime which wants to kill young people. And we're saying we are not going to lose any more lives to a regime that is self-serving. That's what we've said. And I think this is the best way we could honor them. And we've condoled with the families. We've visited with some of the families. We've sent money. We've contributed. I think we're doing well as Kenyans. The best thing we can also do is to be united. Because there are very many voices that will come and try to divide us. But we've said that Kenya is ours and it's our business, and we will do it and we'll fight for it to the death.
Right now, are you safe?
I mean, you cannot claim safety in a country which kills innocent people. You cannot say that these people died because they were demonstrating. Some of them were found in their homes. So I don't know about my safety, but I know that if I do my honest part, my children are going to be safe if God blesses me with children. And my siblings, my younger siblings, the people who come after us are going to be safe. And that's what matters to me. Yeah.
And maybe since then, maybe when you were abducted, how has life been for you?
I mean, scary, and life has changed. I can't just eat anywhere, I can't just go anywhere. It's scary, but I mean, it's what we said. See, we said we are fearless, and we said we'll do it scared and unafraid. That's totally fine.
You've seen what we've done. We have come to record over here, Angie, and you've shouted at us. You have shouted. Or ukikasirika utafanya nini? What do you do?
Enda home. Enda home, man.
No, hapa sio kwake, anakuja kuwanyamazisha hapa kwa nini?
Wananyamazisha, ndo wamelipwa.
Angela anasema ati do not record here. We
Ndio mwambie aende kwa baba. Bro, ingia front line.
We are one as Kenyans. We are one. We will not record in front of. We will not record in front of them. Just wait. Just wait. We will just wait. We will not record as a crowd, guys. We will not record where the police are working, and we will not. We just. Okay.
Hatuna ubaya. Siingie front line. Kunaenda hakuna huko tear gas.
Good afternoon, Kenyans. We are here at the Sikh Union where Dr. Austin was captured outside by 3 men in Maasai Shukas. The team that was collecting blood, as you can see, is just leaving because they are out of manpower and timings.
So if you're still in the mood of donating, we are taking the donation center to Pumwani Hospital right now, and there are a few volunteers who we are gathering to go to Pumwani. Meanwhile, we're still vehemently condemning the actions and state machinations and asking them to free Dr. Austin now. We will not rest until the man is free, and we will do whatever it takes. Meanwhile, keep tweeting using the hashtag Free Japrado, Free Dr. Austin, and if you want to donate from today, if you wanted to come and donate at the Sikh Union, we're donating at Pumwani Hospital. Thank you. Yeah.
Tell us your name and why you're here.
My name is Kasmuel Mcoure, and I'm here on ground. Finished the job that we started, and it had been dimmed down to rejecting the finance bill. It is an active investigation of our governance system. Like I said before, I'm afraid, and even as you can see, there's so much unrest in town. But I'm also here to stay with my brethren and to remind them that we are protesters and not violent.
What do you have to say about the abductions?
I have nothing to say about the abductions. There's nothing said about the abductions. There's nothing legal about abductions. There's nothing legal about abductions. There's nothing fun about abductions. There's nothing heroic or glorious about abductions. Absolutely nothing. I have nothing to say. They should stop. Ideally, that's what the president promised us. We would no longer have such a state. But here we are, abducting enough times.
What's your rallying call to everyone who's at home right now?
Oh man, we're not tired. We're not tired to fight for your country. It's a scary time. I'm scared. You should be scared, and it's okay for you to be scared. But let's not lose more lives. Let's try not to lose more lives.
Anything else you'd want to add?
Long live the people of Kenya. Long live the people of Kenya. We shall overcome something.
We will occupy. Because they have given us the curse of unemployment, we will make it our business. We will make it our daily employment to occupy every single week, every single ministry until we sort out this mess. This will end in good governance. It will end into a Kenya where all of us can work freely. We do not want to be deported to other countries to work as domestic servants. We want to live in our country proud. We want all the teachers to be posted. We want the kids to have food. We want the mothers to deliver safely. And we want this war on graft to be taken seriously. So we will occupy. And we will continue saying Ruto must go, and this will be his entire government. If they do not step up and shape up, we will show them out. It could be now, could be later, but we will not give up.
Okay. Shakira?
For me,
agitating, and I'm going, and part of the people who hate me were the media, because consistently I've been harassed by plainclothes officers. Even one time, I remember this I was hidden behind the freezer of a popular restaurant in Tao. It was that bad, and I've even recording plainclothes people who are unidentified. Now these are not even plainclothes, and they're well armed, and they're just terrorizing people. So anyways, that clip now goes, and now the narrative is, this guy disrespects medics. I've never had the end of it. But in my head, in my heart, and my mind, I'm very clear about whatever it is that I was doing. So because people didn't have context for the thing, I think it got out of hand. And now adding to a person which already people are saying, well, you faked this thing, and no, so everyone's just like, oh, it's a sellout. And I'm like, what exactly have I said that is hurtful to the movement? People are just talking about other things because they were like, oh yeah, his actual name is Samuel Mcoure. He's actually a Kisi from what? He's whatever. It was a lot of allegations. And I'm like, is this what we've reduced the movement to? It feels almost as if that people are always baying for blood.
Each other.
Yes.
We're fighting each other. We're losing direction.
Kabisa.
I've seen it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, the enemy was the finance bill.
No, kabisa.
The enemy was how the country was being run.
Yeah, it's the bad governance.
Bad governance.
Yeah.
But now we're turning to it, bro. I've seen what has happened to a couple of people who are, including Cairo.
Yeah.
I think Cairo said he's not going to go to the
Right.
street again.
Right.
Oh, you're a sellout.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
guys, we're losing the direction.
Yeah.
Myself, before I came on the street,
Yeah.
I was a quarter here.
Kila mtu alikuwa tu
And
like.
when the finance bill came, I was the first one to bring Bago in and
Yes.
sat down here.
Yes.
And we analyzed it.
Yes.
And we spoke about this tax,
Right.
this whatever, and this. And I said, I rejected that.
Mm.
He said, no, you've not come. You're da-da-da. I'm like,
It's almost as if people want you to be in actual.
The angle that was taken in that particular X space, first of all, we did not have our most eloquent voices doing the questioning, which set us at a disadvantage. And this is the thing where if we claim we are a leaderless movement, we also cannot delegate media to an individual. That's where I also feel like it's a realization that we are also having, because the movement is still very young. And I'm not here to fault anyone, but in terms of articulation of our points, we should have focused more on whatever it is that the president had talked about earlier, which when I was saying it's a radical position, I'll take by saying that he's making knee-jerk reactions. If we really, really crystallize what our issues are around and the things that the president is supposed to be dealing with, we have issues around food, we have issues around education,
Right.
we have issues around work, meaningful work, and we have issues around health. If they sort out these things because they delve into the other microcosm, you cannot tell us that you have jobs, and when you filter the jobs that we're getting, they're jobs as domestic workers, taking us back to the years of slavery. We do not want passports, we want IDs, because that's the next thing we are going to agitate for. Because seeing as they've decided to play politics, then now we will push that you give us IDs. Because if you look at it, if you look at these moves, it will be very hard for people to get IDs, because we've realized that we can form an entire government without touching any of the voters who vote tribally. We want more tangible solutions, and him coming to the X space, and because the X spaces have been a place for us to vent, I look at them as the places we go to rant collectively as citizens as we crystallize our main ideas. The president coming to be a part of that put us at a slight disadvantage, because he does not have the same complaints we have. So he's bringing authority to a place where we've claimed leaderlessness, tribelessness, and fearlessness. So when he comes in as an authority and not as a listening voice, because it would have been a different thing if he joined a space, if a space was being hosted and then you saw William S. Ruto has joined the space. That would have been a totally different thing. The way the politicians have been addressed in those spaces have been very different, because once the president comes, as much as we might have issues with the man, the presidency is a separate thing, and now there becomes respectability politics and all those things.